So how did my covered calls start? Back in, I think it was 05, 06, I was a consulting engineer, and at the time, a bit of a downturn in the industry I was in, and I kind of lost my job and needed to go out and find a way to generate some cash. At the time, my associate Alex, he knew about the stock market and had some knowledge there and about shares and things. And he said to me one day, and he knew I had a portfolio, he knew I owned a few shares which we'd held for a number of years, and he said, you know, Tony, what you can do is you can sell an option on shares that you already own for somebody else to buy those shares from you in, say, a month's time, and they'll pay you a premium for that. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, this is called a covered call, whereby you own the shares and you're covering what's called a call option. And I said, you know, tell me some more information. He said, well, imagine if you were to go out and buy some shares, so you own that stock and you might have invested, you know, quite a bit of money for those shares, depending on their value. So you own the shares, but somebody else thinks those shares are going to go up in value over, say, the next month, and they're prepared under contract to buy those shares from you in a month's time at a price that you both agree. And I said, oh, okay, so somebody will agree under a contract, and I'll sell them that contract effectively, and they'll pay me money for that, or as you say, a premium. He said, yeah, that's right, that's exactly what it is. And this made sense to me, so I kind of had a close look at it. But then I need to find out the information. You know, what sort of premium I'm going to get? What is going to be the return on any particular contract that I might sell for any particular share? So I had to scratch around and look at the back of the Financial Review, which had all the option premiums from the previous day, ASX website and other places like that, just to try and find the information. But it was quite a laborious task. You know, you really had to scratch around, and when you found the actual premiums that were available for the end of day data the previous day, you had to calculate what the returns were going to be based on that information. So this, being as I say, a consulting engineer, this is a little bit hard. So I sat down, I worked out an algorithm. I love a good algorithm that would, if I took the information, put it in a spreadsheet, it would actually calculate what the returns were on any given stock for its options, whether that option was exercised, that is taken up by the buyer, or not exercised, that is I get to keep the shares. So work out what the returns were, exercised, not exercised, in, out and at the money. And so that's what my spreadsheet did with the information I put in there. And as I say, my partner at the time, business partner Alex, he looked at this and said, that's just bloody fantastic. That's exactly the information that covered call traders need. They need to know things like the share price, they need to know the strike price, they need to know the premium, they need to know the contract size, they need to know, what the returns are, exercised or not exercised. And I said, well, to me this makes sense as well. So between the two of us, we spent felt like about the next year putting together my covered calls, which was a lot of work and effort. And what my covered calls does, it uses ASX derived information, and it updates during the day every hour or so, and it puts the fresh information there, but it shows you the return and the highest yields available on all of the options in the ASX, and it shows you the outcome, whether exercised, not exercised, at, out or in the money. It also shows you the share price, the premium, the strike price, the contract size, any dividends due, and a bunch of information, a very simple report. My covered calls is a data service, and we're introducing into the new web page, which is launched December 2013, some information as well, some articles and whatever that talk about covered calls and about the trading, about how to do it. It's not advice at all. In fact, we don't give advice. We are just merely data providers of information. Anyway, that's my covered calls in the beginning.